practice.
No.
You know, when folks are dealing with a conflict, whether it's, you know, with their spouse, with their employees, whatever, you know, you have to work on you first to be able to work on somebody else at all, or to even have a chance.
I agree. The most important thing I would encourage people to understand is if you can't control what somebody else does. You cannot control what somebody else thinks. You can't control anything outside of what you do, your actions. You really can't even control the thoughts that come in your brain, but you can control whether or not you go through with thoughts or pursue things like that, right? That it makes a very big difference. But when you understand that you cannot control what someone else does, but you can control you and what you say and what you do, then you look at that problem very differently, because now you're not saying, well, it's that person. They need to figure it out. That problem's not going away if it's going to be their problem to figure out.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that is, I've taken that phrase to heart a lot over the course of really just working on myself as an individual. And I think it's something that's, you know, kind of been, you know, relatively new for me as far as like working on myself as an individual. But that phrase means a lot to me, and that, you know, you can control your own reaction to situations. And I have to say that it in any given, you know, I had my girlfriend and I had a little bit of, not an argument, but, you know, disagreement or what have you, where we were kind of going after each other and for a quick second. And she said that, and it honestly stopped me in my tracks. And it was like the one thing through all of our conversation that I was able to connect with and be able to say, you know, damn, you know, you're right. You're right. I mean, there's no other, you don't have any excuse for that. You can control the way that you react to things. You can't control the outside world, but you know, it is, you know, I just thought it was important that I mentioned that it ultimately, you know, has meant a lot to me as of recent. And again, if you ever find yourself in an argument, feel free to throw that out there.
Yeah, well, you know, an important thing that I learned, especially with going to school for marriage and family therapy, is when you're in a relationship and the problem arises, most people tend to look at this problem as him versus her, or partner one versus partner two. It's always the couple versus the partner. If you adjust your mindset and you take it, all right, it's us versus this problem. How are we going to fix this problem? You've now not made your partner an enemy. You've now made them an ally. And now you separate the problem so that you can actually attack it together, right?
Yeah, no,
so
that's good.
That would always be the idea anytime you're looking at a problem as a couple. But